They don't just make us, they forge us. They take a man and they break him down with pain and sacrifice. They scrape out your memories, strip away every last piece of your humanity, and then rebuild your mind to be a vessel for the Emperor's fury. We fight things that would shatter the mind of any other warrior in the entire Imperium. But that raises a question, doesn't it? What happens when a weapon starts to remember it was once a man?
My name, well, the name they gave me, is Brother Justicar Malus of the Seventh Brotherhood, and I'm one of the few who remembers. Not because they spared me, but because I was forced to see the truth. In my order, memory is the ultimate enemy, but for me, it's the only thing that gives me a purpose beyond just killing. This is the story of how a weapon learned its own name.
We are the Grey Knights. Out on Titan, Saturn's cold, lonely moon, that's our fortress. From there, we prepare for the secret wars, the wars no one can ever know happened. We are the Emperor's final, brutal sanction. An existence so secret, even the highest lords of the Imperium don't know we're real.
They call us the Emperor's silver bullets, weapons aimed right at the heart of the great enemy. We don't fight for glory. In fact, if any Imperial citizen even sees us in action, we have to execute them or mind wipe them on the spot. It's a mercy, really. Better they believe their world was just hit by a plague than to know the truth of what's really lurking out there, just beyond the veil. That's the burden we carry.
Before I was Malus, I was someone else. I was a boy. I had a name. They took that boy, and they just deconstructed him, piece by painful piece. Every scar you see is a memory they took from me, a sacrifice made to hollow me out, to make room for the weapon I needed to become.
So how do you make a Grey Knight? First, they literally beat your name out of you. Then, they pump your empty mind full of forbidden lore, secrets of chaos that would drive any normal person insane. The gene seed implantation, that was months of pure agony. I started with 30 recruits in my group. Only 12 of us survived. After that, psychic surgeons carve out your humanity. They take your fear, your doubt, even your mercy. And the final step? Soul binding. They take you to the Golden Throne, and the Emperor's raw power sears your very soul. When it was all over, I wasn't a man anymore. I was Brother Malus.
For 300 years I served, 3 centuries of secret wars and forgotten worlds, just doing my duty. And then we got the summons for Phobos Tertius. It was supposed to be a sanctuary world for psychers, but it had gone completely silent. Just one terrifying message got out before they went dark. They are coming.
You have to understand the scale of the horror here. Phobos Tertius wasn't just some outpost. It was home to over 1 million psychers. And now all 1 million of those minds, twisted and given over to chaos, had basically torn a wound in the fabric of reality itself, a gateway. And something ancient and powerful was clawing its way through. Our mission? 9 of us against a world of 1 million corrupted souls.
The journey through the warp is always madness, but on that 17-day trip, something was different. I heard it, a whisper. It was so faint I thought I might be imagining it, but we're taught that imagination is a weakness. This didn't feel like chaos either. It felt familiar, and it just kept repeating one single word over and over again. Remember. And for the first time in 300 years, I kept a secret from my brothers.
During drills, my brother Varric sensed it. He knew something was wrong in my mind and was getting ready to report me for psychic compromise. It's protocol, you know? But then the whisper spoke again, urgently. It said, "He is one of the stolen, like you." It gave me a name I'd never heard, a name that made Varric, a warrior forged in absolute discipline, just tremble. He confessed he'd been hearing whispers too. We weren't compromised. We were waking up. When we teleported to the surface, my God, it was a living nightmare. The architecture wasn't stone or metal anymore. It was writhing with organic growth. Spires made of flesh and bone, floors made of gasping mouths. We weren't there to cleanse a world. We were there to kill a single, planet-sized creature.
Grandmaster Varden led the way. Just 9 of us, 9 silver warriors, moving right into the heart of a living hell. The most unnerving part was the silence. It was the kind of silence a predator makes when it knows its prey is already trapped.
The first attack came from the ceiling, this tide of corrupted flesh that used to be people. We were fighting back, bolter and blade, holding our own. But then a wall just exploded outward, and behind it was a nest, full of what used to be human babies, now just these writhing masses of teeth and bone. They swarmed Brother Morai before he could even react. His death scream just echoed in all our minds.
We lost Brother Kell next. The floor just gave way beneath him. We could hear his bolter firing for a few minutes, then nothing. We couldn't go back for him. The mission always comes first. By the time we finally battled our way to the central chamber, only 6 of us were left.
And there, at the center of this twisted amphitheater, was the entity. Its form kept shifting. One moment, a massive beating heart. The next, a vortex of 1,000 screaming faces. Then, a pillar of pure dark light. It was beautiful in its absolute horror. And looking at it, I felt this terrible sense of kinship.
It spoke directly into our minds, bypassing all our psychic defenses like they were made of paper. And its voice, it wasn't filled with malice or rage. It was full of this profound sorrow and the strange joy. "Brothers," it said, "you have come home at last." Grandmaster Varden didn't hesitate. He charged. But the being just absorbed his attack, pulling our commander right into its mass.
As we fought, the entity flooded our minds with the truth, the ultimate heresy. We were always taught we were single men, remade, purified. It was a lie. We're chimeras. Each Grey Knight is a composite being made from 1,000 psyker souls, harvested and stitched together. The donors, they don't survive the process. I am not one man. I am 1,000.
The entities showed us their faces, the faces of the men whose souls were ripped out to create us. Their lives, their hopes, their unknowing sacrifice. This thing, it wasn't a demon. It was them, all of them. And it offered me a choice. "Join with me, Malice," it pleaded. "Allow me to restore what was taken from you. Become more than a weapon. Become a man once more."
To remember, to feel, to be whole again. The offer was everything I didn't even know I'd lost. I could be free from the conditioning, free from the endless war, free from the burden of being a mindless tool. Or I could remain what I was forged to be, humanity's shield, a weapon of the Emperor. Slavery or freedom, a weapon or a man.
I remembered my oath, an oath to stand against the darkness no matter what. With a cry that was part fury and part absolute grief, I charged. As my blade struck the heart of the entity, it spoke one last time inside my head. "You choose slavery over freedom, weapon over man. The truth cannot be unlearned, Malice. You will carry this knowledge and it will spread."
And then, it was gone. The corruption on the planet just withered away into dust. We had succeeded. The mission was a success. But the victory felt like ashes. We were forever changed, burdened by a truth that could never, ever be unlearned.
We returned to the ship with our Grandmaster. Varric was just broken, weeping openly, an emotion I had never seen in a brother before. I gave the signal for exterminatus, and as the fleet reduced Phobos Tertius to radioactive rock, all the physical evidence was erased, but the memories, they remained.
As I watched that world burn, I made a silent vow, not to the Emperor, but to the 1,000 souls whose fragments make up my being. I will remember them, not just the duty I was made for, but the men who were sacrificed to create me. It's a private act of rebellion, a small defiance against those who would have me be nothing but a mindless weapon. It changes nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's all I have to offer. I am Malice, weapon of the Emperor, and I remember.